Good morning. If anybody's here watching, I'll probably have an echo because I forgot to turn the volume off. Wow, I like that. My TV is at a rakish angle, isn't it? I was sitting on the couch with Teddy, and I'm just talking to myself. And my phone's laying over here. Oops. I'm going to, I don't want to pronounce that. Panjai? I know that's wrong. Help me out there. Hey, Mike. Good morning. Miss Carol, welcome in. Be there in a minute. Making coffee. Oh, my goodness. Well, that is part of the show. Oh, I was just checking my phone for any messages. There's a small little possibility that I dozed off on the couch for a few minutes. So just checking. Good morning, Miss Diana. Okay, so it's Banka. Oh, Mike, I didn't. Let me go back and look. I might have forgot to do something here. Pulse. It's been a while. Aha, I am going to have a guest today. Mike, there you go. Send it to your account. Carol, I can send you one too if you're ready. No problem. No hurry. Said I was just barely here on time. I don't know if Teddy woke me up or if I woke up, but pretty sure I dozed off for a few minutes. Hope everybody's well today. I think she's feeling some better, Carol. She was sleeping in this morning. I woke her up. Good morning, Doug. Welcome. My nose is itching. Everybody, welcome in. We have a new visitor today. I'm going to try to pronounce his name again. Panka. Nobody in the studio. Comments. Oh, Doug, he better have, because I didn't get to go get him. Well, I could have gone and got some. I talked myself out of it, actually. I'm trying to be a good bear. if there is such a thing. We'll see how long it lasts. Hey, Tony, welcome in Fantastic Chronicles. I hope the world in Ohio is good, and Pennsylvania, Michigan, Canada. Ian, good morning, buddy. Way too long no see. Well, today's topic, Carol, is all I put down this morning was chasing squirrels. I don't have. Oh, I just realized something. If I don't have a slideshow, does that mean it's not an official chat? We can't just have a gathering of friends. I think Mike and Diana might be going to visit us. And if they do, then I was going to try to learn a little bit about Canada. And there they are, or there him is. Give him just a minute. Bigfoot sightings can work if anybody's got any. Hey, Mike.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome in.
No problem. Come hang out for a little bit.
Good. Well, always welcome. Glad you can make it in for a little while. Yeah, I know you guys might have to go do something, or a lot of times you do. So I just, when I invited you in, I just figured you'd go when you had to, or you'd let me know. And
hey, Doug. Hey, Carol.
That's right, Ian. Friends get a squirrel hunt. Well, we got kind of cloudy, ugly weather today, but it's I think it's supposed to blow on through. Hopefully it won't be any. When I say blow,
hi, Tony.
Oh yeah, Tony wanted to know where the donuts are. He thought you were bringing them.
You know, I went through the drive-through this morning, and they told me that they were all sold out.
Oh no!
We have a shortage here in Canada of donuts.
Oh, you believe that, Tony?
Actually, they're both sleeping on the couch.
That's what they do. Somebody sent me no, maybe it was on Instagram. I saw a little video clip this morning of a couple basset hounds chasing each other around the bush.
Yeah.
Did you send me that? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, yes, I did.
Okay.
I shared it.
Basset hounds. That could be a whole show by itself right there. And since we got two families that I'm aware of.
Tina has basset hounds, hound dogs, I believe.
She has hounds. She has big hounds. She has dogs.
I think that's what Diana wants to get next.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're a handful, or it can be.
Yeah, well, you know, I wish I could show you the photo of my dog sleeping on the couch right now. It's priceless.
Well,
that dog, our boy basset hound has no shame. I tell you, no shame.
No shame. Okay, well, I think I get the subtext there. Ian, it's a sad, sad thing. And we'll have to get Mike to elaborate a little bit more. Bassets are a handful too. Bassets are like two handfuls, actually. So how is it warmed up any up your way yet, or is it still minus burr?
It's warmed up. Like we just had. You could buy a boat right now and you could go down the street. We got a lot of water.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, little bit of exaggeration there, but we're expecting high floods in the next couple weeks from the melt because last
Yeah,
week.
that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen in a lot of places, I think.
Yeah, like it's going to be coming down from North Dakota through our Red River and stuff like that. And then whatever we have melt here. And this last snowfall that we just had, I think it was like 20 centimeters. That didn't help anything.
How much?
20 centimeters.
Meters?
No, centimeters.
Oh, centimeters. Okay. I thought you were saying meters. I thought, how in the hell do you even see sunlight?
And I think that's about
Sorry. Pardon my French, as they say.
Oh, no worries.
My camera got whacked here, I think, a little bit. I didn't put my flags up this morning. I was running. Well, for one thing, if I'm honest, I fell asleep I dozed off on the couch watching the news.
Oh.
Me and Teddy. In fact, I think he may have woke me up just in time. Teddy bud. He's back to sleep now. His job's done. That's about 8 inches. That's about right, Doug.
Yep. Doug told me that he wants to come down in January when it's really cold.
Do what?
Doug wants to come down in January next year. When
it's really
cold. Yeah. He says he wants to do some snowshoeing or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. You can go out to Wyoming and do that right now, too. Speaking of Wyoming, Marcus I've got a picture. He sent it downloaded this morning, or I tell you, I'm having just a tiny bit of my device needs to restart to install updates. Not right now. Just saying. I've got a picture of Mark, and I don't.
Come on down, Doug.
I don't know how. I need to download it. Let me see. I need to send it to my email. Maybe I can do that. Marcus is in Texas.
Oh yeah, whereabouts in Texas?
Did you say something about the Red River? You're red. Did you? Yes.
Yes, I did say something about the Red River.
Well, he's just south of the Red River that divides Oklahoma and Texas. He's really just inside Texas.
Oh yeah.
But he's down there on I think he's down there on some sort of a testosterone. He sent me this the other morning. He called me. He called me Wednesday or Thursday morning, and he was sitting out in a blind turkey hunting, and a box of what you guys might call them a hide, but anyway, or the Brits call them a hide anyway. He sent me this picture. He said he was a little bit cold. Look at that beard hanging, whiskers hanging out of that mask.
Just a little.
I was laughing at him because he was saying it was like 40 something degrees. They had cool snap for Texas, I guess, but he was cold. I said, "What do you mean you're cold? It's been way below that where you come from." And he said, "Yeah, but the humidity's higher down here." Now, I'm going to try to show you a video. Quick, something else he sent me. We were bird watching while he was talking to me, and I was hearing birds in the background. So he sent me a picture of this guy. I don't know if you'll be able to see him run across the screen or not. He's sitting right there.
Oh yeah,
that's a runner. That's a road runner.
Oh really?
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Keep waiting. The coyote's coming. I'm kidding about the coyote. Wait, you guys probably like it a lot better if I'd hold it still. Anyway, he was sitting in the blind, and I was trying to identify birds by sound, which for me is not that easy because um, I can't hear them most of the time. But his phone was picking them up really well. Wow, I'm like way not focused. Come on, camera, snap out of it. All right, what's going on there? Hang on a minute. There it is. I guess I had a little confused. And he sent me a note and he said he hadn't seen a turkey. Well, he'd been calling turkeys. I could actually hear a turkey off in the distance. But he'd seen a bobwhite quail, a lighter-backed woodpecker, a loggerhead shrike, which is I had a picture of that too, a cardinal, and a black-crested titmouse and a scissortail flycatcher. He'd seen all that. Oh, plus turkeys, turkey vultures, Cooper's hawk, great horned owl, and a barred owl. So that was a good morning. he was enjoying it actually because he told me that he was going to go lay in the sand in the sun, but that I wasn't supposed to mention that to his wife because she was going to be staying home in minus 20-degree Wyoming or whatever it is. I didn't talk to him first of the week. I wasn't sure he even got to go to Texas because they got more snow. I think Sunday or Monday, and he was supposed to leave on. I think he was leaving his house on Sunday and driving out to meet a friend of his somewhere, and then they were going to head down south at Monday.
Mm.
Yeah, Carol, meet me.
Diana has family in Texas somewhere.
Diana does?
Yeah.
What part of Texas?
Plano.
Plano. Okay, well, I know where that's at. I had a cousin that lived in Plano for a while. I think she worked for, oh, come on, memory. People that used to own Beechcraft. I can't think of their name. They're an aerospace kind of military weapons, I believe, is what they work on these days. They build missiles and stuff. Raytheon.
Hmm.
But anyway, well, he's he thinks his snow won't be gone for a while, but if they do, they're concerned about floods too.
Yeah, they're warning us right now. So I think in the next couple of weeks they're going to have equipment out on the Red River breaking up all the ice damming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, they already started. I was just informed.
Oh, well, see, you're not keeping up.
No.
That is a problem.
I keep her around.
That's a problem we don't have down this way, at least not anymore. But that's a funny thing. We talk about climate change, and I can remember people talking about rivers freezing. Not over like they do up there, but some in lakes. I've seen one or two. I've seen one year when a lot of things froze up, but rivers didn't freeze up, but about everything else did. We get ice along the edges. But I read something a few years ago. They used to the Ohio River used to freeze solid, and people used to cross the river on the ice. And there was I read somewhere that hadn't happened. That actually hadn't happened since maybe the 30s or 40s was the last time that the Ohio froze over. But they were saying that partly at that time they thought some of that was due to hydroelectric plants, but actually more nuclear plants and places that used the water for cooling and dropped it back in the river after it had been heated or warmed up. So it hits the river, not the same temperatures. What'd Carol do? Diana, when you were off screen, you look just like Garrett. That's a good one.
That's funny.
Write that down. But I'm not sure if I was Diana if I'd put up with that. That's good. Oh, that's funny.
Gonna have to remember that one.
Yeah. I can't hear her as well as I can hear Garrett usually, but she does look a lot like Garrett right now. I'm sorry, that's funny. Well, tell Garrett about that.
Let's call him right now, Tim. Let's prank him.
Oh yeah, let's do. He may still be in bed.
Yeah, probably.
So let's call him.
We're good friends.
Yeah, what are friends for? If not for something like this. I bet he don't answer. It's okay, Carol. He calls me at dinner time all the time. He's not going to answer. Well, I'll leave him a message though.
Hi, this is Garrett, and I'm not available, so please leave a message.
Well, hi there, buddy.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Well, hi there, buddy. You having a good night's sleep? I bet you're out fixing breakfast or out running errands already this morning, maybe mowing your grass or something, huh? We thought we were online here, and I was talking to Mike Cabral, and he thought it might be a good idea to give you a call and see what. Oh, I bet he's out getting donuts, Mike. What do you bet he's getting donuts?
I think so. Yeah, he told us last night he was bringing donuts.
Yeah, see, there you go. And we just had a really funny story in here. Diana's off screen right now. Mike's on screen with me, but Diana's off, and Carol said that when she's off screen like this, she looks just like you. And we thought that was hilarious. But we'll see how it turns out in the end. I think that'd be a compliment to you, though, don't you think? See you later. I've been threatening to do that, so good. He likes to call me at dinner time. He always calls, and when I answer, he says, "You got a mouthful?" Sometimes I do. But he's getting ready to go for his daily jog or his daily run at about that time, so he wants to, talk while he's running around the block or taking the dog for a walk. I think the rain has passed. I can't tell what's going on. I didn't really hear a storm last night, so I think it just rained some. Oh, somebody's talking about Joey. Where's that at? Oh, paper bag. Yeah, that's where I saw that. Yeah, Joey did. He what's the word for that? Imitated Garrett by putting the bag over his head.
Oh, that was good. That was priceless.
Yeah, he calls me when he's running, so sometimes I have trouble hearing him. But I get to know all about the cars going by and stuff. Joey, that was a great video by Joey. I didn't see that direct, or when it first came out. I think I might have missed. Somebody posted it on here or on the Instagram, and I got to watch it, and that was a really good one. Yeah, Ian, I stay behind. Does he call you? Who said that? Doug, does he call you when he's running too? Maybe he calls you every other night. Oh, he does do that to you too. Okay. See, I'm not the only one. I wondered what he was doing the other nights of the week when he didn't give me a call.
Now I feel left out. He doesn't call me when he's jogging.
Oh no! Well, I'm gonna make a point. What's Diana talking about the smoke? I missed something here.
The smoke in Joey's world when he was making a crack joke at Michelle cooking with Garrett.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I shouldn't laugh. That was another good one though. He did a lot of people. He I guess him and Lisa. Like Joey's game for any of that kind of stuff. I think he's Joey's a good guy.
Yeah. I'd like to meet them one day when we go down to Florida.
Yeah, I would love to meet them. Yeah, that's right. It was Save Our Gimbals. That's what it was about. Save Our Gimbals. I was trying to remember what he was saving, but my memory's just not what it used to be. Oh, I'm behind here on chat. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, Ian, if you hadn't seen it, go watch it because it's definitely, if you can. And here, it's definitely worth seeing. It's, I don't know, it's probably 10, 12 minutes, maybe 15. I don't know. Maybe not.
Under 15 for sure, I would think.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth catching up on. I know there was a couple he did a while back that I missed, and I meant to go back and look them up. Now I need to get on. I need to just go up there and look at his stuff posts and see what I've missed. Anywho, so Mike. We're just sitting here chatting.
Mm-hmm.
I think well, I don't want to say where you live. Other people may know, and I know, I think, but I know you don't talk about it a lot. But have you lived there all your life?
Yeah, I live.
So you're a native Bomber fan then?
I'm a Canadian citizen.
Well, I mean, but have you lived in the same province?
Yeah, same province. Kicking myself in the butt for not taking the opportunity to move to Florida one day, and I had a job offer out there.
Oh no! Which one? Diana had a job offer.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Oh man, you could have gone down there and been a house husband or something.
I don't know how that would have worked for me trying to get employment, but
well, maybe not. But whatever.
Maybe I could have sat on the board of Ready Creek out there or something,
There you go. I heard that, Diana. Ian said it's 7.5 minutes. Yeah, I just thought it was long. Ian was asking if somebody asked if you had any more moose in your area.
No, I just got 2 goats inside the house right now on the couch.
Have you lived there? Oh, Carol was asking, have you lived there your whole life on purpose, or have you been snowing? That's a good question, Carol. Thank you for putting that in chat. I didn't.
No, you always, us Canadians, when you live in a province that there's lots of snow, you always bring a shovel inside the house with you.
So you can get out the door.
Shovel yourself out.
I never thought about that. That's probably a pretty good idea. I kind of wonder. I saw a video somebody did on. God, I've spent too much time on social media. Somebody had a video where they opened their door and it was kind of walled up with snow, and their dog went out. He went out low and tunneled out through the bottom of the snow, the door, or the snow, which I thought was kind of funny. Never having had to do that. I've seen people have to tunnel out and they talk about it. I haven't seen them, I guess, but I've heard, I know people talk about it. Mark was about to have to tunnel into his chicken house.
Yeah.
If you saw that picture where he was climbing Mount Sarabachi, he said he was.
I bet you he toboggans on his spare time off that roof.
He should.
You should make
I don't know
a
if he does or not, but he should. The kids could.
you should make a TikTok video doing that.
Now that I think about it, I believe he said something about he was going to try to get the kids to go off the bar or off the building.
What a good grandpa.
Well, yeah, he's that kind of grandpa. He believes all kids should have their fair share of cuts, scrapes, and scars by the time they're teenagers.
Absolutely. Only makes you tougher.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you need to get out in the barnyard and get inoculated. And
Yep. Inoculated.
well, that's kind of what Carl. Man, I'm having a terrible time this morning. George Carlin used to say, he talked about when he was a kid. He said something about parents. These days they worry about everything and got to keep everything clean and nice. He said when he was kids, they were swimming in the East River in New York, and he said it was right below the sewer plant. He said, hell, we were inoculated to everything. None of us ever got sick after that. And I think there's some truth in that. He was kidding, I'm sure. Well, maybe not, but
well, I'm sure the potable drinking water, they don't get everything out of it. So
yeah. But anyway, he was he thought that was good. Kids or people got inoculated early on. I think there's some truth in that. I think we've been on such a clean kick or germophobia kind of thing that if somebody does get
well, I heard back in the 60s or 70s, the Canadian government actually sent up airplanes into the sky, and to vaccine everybody, they just dropped it into the air. And that's how people got vaccinated.
Now say that again.
Yeah. Diana thinks it's not true, but I heard it from somebody. So that I guess they wanted to vaccine the population, and to get people to do it, they just went up into the air with airplanes, and they just fogged it out into the ozone layer.
Well, they aerosolized it and sprayed it. That's an interesting.
It's a true story. I know somebody who confirms it, so they've actually done it. So Diana says it's not true, but it's true.
I'm sure it's true. Carol said they got plenty of snow, but we haven't had snow blocking our door since 1977. So did you have a shovel inside, Carol? And Dean said he got 0 snow this year.
Hey, Dean.
And
thanks for rubbing it in.
Florida, he said, very fortunate. Yeah, you guys, you've Dean, have you ever seen snow since you've been? I mean, every once in a while, they'll get a little bit of snow in North Florida. One of those rare. I mean, it's usually just a flurries or a little dusting or something. But I mean, it's rare, but it has happened.
That's not snow.
It's got.
That's not snow.
No, even I don't think that's real snow. Most of Dean's snow comes out of Main Street, and it's called snow.
So I got a new phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of it so far?
Well, it's a lot different than the Android that I had for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was such a good deal, I couldn't pass it up.
When they first came out with phones a couple years ago, their first phone, I read some stuff about it on like Consumer News, and that there's a testing site I used to visit and check everything out. I can't remember the name of it now, but anyway, they were saying that their first Google phone was a pretty decent phone, and this one I'm curious to see. I don't know if anybody. I've not known anybody yet that's using one to like stream with, but I bet some. I mean, I bet somebody is, but nobody in this group that I'm aware of has one. I'd like to. I wonder how it would do doing that.
Well, I know it does really good photos. Diana took some really good photos of the northern lights from our backyard up in the sky.
Oh,
That
cool.
my our old phones could not pick it up, but she has the Pixel 6, and it picked it up, and it was really incredible.
Doug says Pixel phones are awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if you had dual citizenship, Mike, and Diana said you had Canada and Mars. Are you have Canada and Venus then, Diana? Is that what you're saying? Oh, Doug does stream with his Pixel 6a. Okay, Doug. Well, I apologize. I wasn't aware of that. And Diana has, well, that's what you just said. She's got a 6a. Is the 6a the newest one, or are they higher numbered than that now?
I think the Pixel 7 that I have is the newest one. I think.
Well, they've been advertising.
What do I know? I can't keep up to this stuff. So.
Well, they've been I think that's what they've been advertising down here. We need to get Garrett on here because everything happens in California first. So Doug says we actually have a town called Mars near us. We got one. We got one in the edge of North Carolina called Mars Hill.
Who asked that if we had dual citizenship?
Oh, somebody up there did. I don't remember now. Oh, Diana answered it by saying you had Mars and Canadian.
Oh, Doug, no, sorry, we don't.
Ian says, I took a Floridian to see her first snow ever. It was great. I bet and how long did they did they like it when they got cold, or Ian? I'll have to ask that. Dean, take care out there today. Have fun.
Have a good one, Dean.
7 is the newest, Doug says. So, Doug, I mean, do you have the same kind of issue? And this is probably a dumb question, but I mean, with overheating and that kind of thing, I mean, if they improved that somehow, and they do operate on the Android system, don't they? Or are they on their own world too, like Apple is?
Well, I'm so used to the Android and compared to the Pixel, so it's going to be a little bit until I get the hang of it. So.
Well, I had the same. I had gone to using Magnavox phones for a while, and I had Verizon then, and then I went back to Samsung, and I had to re-educate myself for a while. And I'm kind of technically this phone's probably the one I've had the longest. It's a 10. I think it's a 10E or a 10S Samsung.
Yeah,
I think, and the new ones. I'm not sure if I want to try to relearn something or not, but I'll probably have to get one here. Usually the batteries run dead, or the batteries usually give out long before the rest of the phone does for me. And since you can't change batteries anymore, or at least you can't yourself. Well, I guess somebody can, but I can't. I'm not going to anyway.
Yeah, what they charged me for this.
Those are pretty much done, but this one, the battery's still going strong. Now I don't travel as much now, so maybe that's got something to do with it. It's not out searching for towers and signals all the time. Maybe the battery doesn't get worked as hard. I'm not sure, but I think battery technology has improved. So,
well, I know my old phone, when I had it in the gimbal, it was getting pretty warm. So
was it?
And that was in winter yet. So
I've had mine heat up in the car when I was trying to, usually it's when I'm using the camera.
Yeah.
But I can have it on. It really makes a difference what you're doing, because I can run a book program or something and listen to a book all day long, and it never seems to That won't heat it up, but other using the camera certainly does. Ian, Ian said she started to dive into a snow berm, and we all had to let her know it was ice. Yeah, you got to be aware of that. That could be bad news. That's kind of how Mark Snow was last time I talked to him. It was it was pretty crunchy, let's just say, on top. You had to get down a little bit before it started loosening up, and then it got. Hey Tina, you're not over late. You just didn't get here at the same time we did.
Good morning, Tina.
She's wrangling hounds, she said. She loved it. That was all right.
Yeah, I got a really good deal on the phone, so that's why I picked it up. I wasn't really looking to pay for a phone, but from what they charged me, this is what I spend on donuts in a month. So
Oh my God, that much, huh?
that little.
Okay. Oh, Carol's talking about someplace near the coast, south of New York. I don't know where she meant. I missed that part. The Pixel does take a bit to get used to, though. Swapping is different. Is it really, Diana?
Yeah, it is.
Well, compare. Everybody ought to bring their favorite phone on and compare them. I can't use an Apple phone. I've tried. Well, I mean, I can, I guess, but I've had coworkers that used to hand me their Apple phones for something, or I wouldn't have mine, or I don't know how to work an Apple phone. They seem foreign as heck to me. Probably not, but they just don't work the same way. Probably kind of like your phone and your old phone, maybe. Who do you guys have for service up that way? Same as us, or you have Canadian companies, or?
We have TELUS, Shaw, Rogers, and I'm sure there's some other ones, but
Like Verizon or AT&T.
Verizon's here, Virgin's here.
Virgin. I don't know if we can get. Well, I'm sure.
Dell.
Maybe. Dell.
No, Diana's yelling at me, but that's not uncommon. So
Yeah, well, I know the feeling. Diana said, "Neither can I." I couldn't even answer. Oh, on the iPhone. Yeah, I don't. They just. I mean, I'm sure.
No AT&T
or Verizon.
or Horizon. Pardon me.
Oh, okay. So I've currently got an AT&T phone, but we had a Verizon phone for first 20 years we had cell phones, I guess, if we had them that long. I put off getting one for a long, long time. I just did not want one, and then finally we finally gave in. But it was hard to get. I couldn't when I was first working with TVA. I'd get out in the country someplace, and there weren't any phones, or nobody I knew that had a phone. And we had these. Well, we did have these bag phones. We called them these big old clunky battery powered things that never worked. And if it did work, you couldn't get any reception anywhere. So I bought a phone because of that. I couldn't get, so I could try to stay in touch with Brenda, or if I had an accident or something back, we ran alone a lot. And, you never knew where you were going to be down if you got hurt. Mm-hmm. So I started carrying a phone because otherwise nobody would have known where I was at half the time. Hey, Kay, good morning. Welcome in.
Good morning, Kay.
We're sitting here chasing squirrel phones, or phone squirrels. Mark,
and pranking Garrett.
Do what?
And pranking Garrett.
Yeah, and pranking Garrett. Mark's in a situation in Wyoming where they've got a local company that does a large part of Wyoming. I can't remember the name of it now, Union, or it's like a 1 or 2 word name, something I've never heard of. So it's just probably out there. And that's what almost virtually everybody in that part of the state has, because they've got the towers. Mm. And I guess if you've got their phone, you get pretty good reception out there. But his phone is like a Verizon or an AT&T or something like that, because he and his daughter, he helps her get a phone. They share a phone line or a phone service because she's in El Paso, Texas, and down there they don't, of course, don't have the same thing he's got up there. So he's got another phone, which is more of a, a nationwide type thing, but up where he's at, it's not. And that's why sometimes, his calls just cut out, and it might be 2 days before I hear from him again because his phone's not working. At least that's what he tells me. But I think he's telling the truth because it makes it really difficult to get a hold of him. But then the other days, everything comes in great. Let's see what else I might have missed. Carol says that she uses a track phone for $20 a month. It's decent, but I don't get much data for that price. Yeah, that depending on what you do with your phone, that can be a problem these days. These days it's hard not to need data with just to send things around and keep up.
Carol, is that unlimited texting and calling also?
Yeah, no, that doesn't help any, Diana. You're right. That's kind of the situation Mark's in, but I've never asked him. I should ask him what the other company, how much it costs or how bad it seems compared to his other plan, since he's got two.
How much data do you get with that, Carol? 1 gig or 2 gigs? Our cell phone plans are, they're pretty expensive here. So like $60, $80 a month.
What do you get for data use?
I got the unlimited data on myself and Diana's phone.
1 gig.
Unlimited data. So I don't think we'll use unlimited. I think I use maybe a quarter of a gig in a month on my phone because I'm usually on internet through the house. So, but we're paying, in the upwards of $60 to $70 per phone in this house. So,
Doug, I think we're not too far above that here with the plan we've got now, but for some reason, time they add all their extra little fees and stuff, it seems like it's way more than that. But we've currently got when we got this deal, we've got unlimited data, we got unlimited hotspot use, and a couple of other things. So I can actually set up a hotspot. Just for gee whiz, when we were heading for the beach last week, or Charleston, I turned mine on and set up a hotspot in the car, and was able to connect my Fire tablet to the internet as we drove along, and it was actually getting really good service. So since I've got that, I need to use it a little bit more. I don't hardly ever use it, so. But there were times when I was working and on the road when that would have been really handy, because sometimes I would say some hotels they had terrible service. And I spent a weekend or a few days at a conference one time here in Tennessee at a state park, and it's one of our nicer state parks. And in fact, we've hiked there a few times in that park. But their hotel was built, or whatever they call it, was built a long time ago, and it's concrete. The whole thing's concrete, like poured concrete. So
really,
yeah. So kind of think about the Contemporary Hotel at Disney World. That's how it was made. And then they put the room slid in like drawers in that hotel.
Oh yeah.
But this thing was just all concrete, so you got a lot of concrete walls and all the main structures around you. So you're kind of surrounded by concrete and rebar. And man, they didn't have anything for cell service, and Wi-Fi service sucked. And we were all there trying to do a little bit of work as we were attending the conference, because that's, since we all have cell phones and laptops now, you can work from anywhere, no matter what you're doing. And this is another reason.
Like a necessity. I can't believe that we can't go without it now. What does that tell you?
Yeah, but it's they used to. Here's a big squirrel. They used to drive me crazy because a few years ago, that same agency I worked for, if you communicated with each other, it was by you maybe email, but mostly by interoffice mail. Any documents you had, any letters that had to go through, everything had to go out as a letter and go through several hands, usually to be edited and approved. And by the fact that you were doing that interoffice mail, man, it took several days, if not several weeks, to do stuff like that. And then once the internet and once we all got hooked up, then all that kind of stuff, suddenly they expected it all right now. Everything got hard faster, deadlines got shorter, and
Yeah.
it just, we went from not having a problem with it taking a few days to, do something to having to do it immediately. And I thought, man, I'm not sure that's a good change, but that's how it's life. So you have one for your car, Carol. I used to know somebody else that had just that service for their cars when they were traveling and stuff. And I thought about doing that at one time too, since we didn't have before we had that. Do you find that it gives you pretty good service when you're traveling? I'm guessing that's probably partly why you got it.
I think if we travel to the U.S. this summer or in the future, we'll probably make sure that we have that on our car too, also, just for security purposes,
Yeah.
safety, and
Yeah, that's still pretty cheap, Diane, compared. I mean, from what you were saying about your guys, so.
And like that's 3 phones that I'm paying for too, right? But
Yeah.
my son doesn't have data. I refuse to give him data. So
Probably not a bad idea. At least for this point in time in his life.
Yeah,
I've got a daughter
doesn't need that. He's 13 years old.
True. Our daughter has her and her husband have kind of been riding our shirt tails for a while, and they use we have 4 lines on ours, and I did that a long time ago when they were in school and stuff, so they could not need too much, wouldn't cost them as much, doing it that way as having a single account for themselves or whatever
Bundle account.
Yeah, but I keep thinking they may pull away and have their own account, but so far they hadn't done that. Mostly it hadn't been a problem, but they were there for a while. But when I did have more limited data, every once in a while I would run out of data, and it would all be Jen because she was downloading movies and stuff at work or something. And I had to say, I'm paying for this, most of it anyway. I expect to be able to use the internet if I need to. Our boss used to send an email and then come out of her office and ask all us supervisors if we read our emails. Don't you love that, Tina? I've actually had that.
That would drive me nuts.
It's that's part of today's world. Doug says he gets the all-star emergency when we travel. Oh, Doug, can you just buy that for like a month or something so you have it when you go on the road? That's somebody else was offering something like that on different cars. I don't know if it was Ford or maybe you could get it for any car, but
I think most of the manufacturers do have something.
Cases plans here are cheaper the more lines you have. That's kind of why we did that with Jennifer and Brian at Kay. It was more expensive when it was just me alone. That's kind of how we got into that deal. It was cheaper then for us to do it that way. And they pay us for their and I'm not paying for the whole thing, but they pay for their service, but I do kind of end up paying for the things that are added to it. I gotta get with them, in fact, and see if we're up to snuff. I had a boss that would send an email and then page overhead that he sent the email. Oh my God, Diana. Isn't that something? I mean,
Yeah, my
it
boss won't. My boss won't pull that stuff with us. I'll tell you that right now. So
he didn't have the ability to page us. Oh, Tina said her boss didn't have the ability. She didn't have the ability to page her. Doug said, "Oh, we use the signs up. Okay, that's how you get the OnStar. Well, that works too. you know, any port in a storm. I think if you can do that, more power to you. I,
we
you
we
know,
enjoyed the satellite radio inside our car.
did or do.
We did, yeah, when we had it.
Yeah, Phil's had it. I've had it in rental cars, and sometimes I really like it. And I've thought about
Yeah.
getting it, but I just haven't. I think Brenda would probably tell me no. She probably wouldn't see the benefit in that. But just so I could listen to maybe a ball game or something on the road. I don't know. I'd probably use it. There is a lot of cool stuff on there that I've listened to. Like, I'd listen to National Public Radio kind of stuff a lot. But there's also books, not books on tape, obviously, but there's books that you can download or listen to when
Yeah.
you're traveling, stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
but I get all that now on my phone through, um, oh, Kindle, but the ones that can read too. What's the name of that? Audible. Cheaper to keep my son on the plan and take it out of his bank account. Well, there you go, Ian. That's what I need. I need a key of their bank account. Carol says we used to get 6 months free satellite radio when we leased our cars, but not anymore. Yeah, I thought they used to do something like that, Carol. Some cars, I don't know if Mazda was doing this. I think when Phil bought his Mazda new, seems like he got 3 or 6 months with it. And
Yeah,
then
we did that with our Buick through the dealership. I guess they gave us a couple free months. Then they sent out a bill in the mail if we wanted to renew it. And I noticed when you refused it, the letters would keep on coming to you, but the price dropped quite a bit. So, instead of paying $100, we got a bill for like $25 for the year.
well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Ian says mom helped set up both kids' bank accounts. Not sure how she wrangled access. Ian, do you guys have you ever used satellite radio or most people don't have to use satellite phones. The reason I'm asking was at one time I was thinking that I was going to ask you this, Mike. When you had it, did it come in pretty good up there? But you don't have a lot of mountains or anything to block it where you are.
No, we're flat here.
Yeah. So that shouldn't be a real problem for you. But back here, when people used to get it on their motorcycle when they were traveling, so they could listen to weather or traffic or just music as they traveled. And but when you went through the mountains, tree tunnels as we call them in some places, it would either fade out for the mountains or just the cover you had because it was blocking all the satellite reception. So you wouldn't get much use out of it there. But I've always heard that once you get out to flatter land west of the Appalachians till you get to the Rockies, it was pretty good. But
yeah,
satellite work good even in the mountains. Just tunnels and underpasses are bad.
I know. Like we do have a couple dead spots throughout the city that I noticed, but with my work vehicle and stuff like that, with the three-way and stuff like that, and the GPS goes a little bit bonkers on the vehicles, but.
Doug says he runs Amazon Music or iHeartRadio through my Android. Yeah, that's kind of what we do now too, Doug. I listen to music now if we want to through the Amazon Music, and I listen to Audible, and I do pay a small fee for Audible to get it to have it constantly. I don't. That's just kind of part of my doing business with Amazon, I guess. I mean, one of these days I may have everything may turn in. You get Amazon Radio, Amazon TV, or Amazon phone service. And what kind of shirt you got on there, Mike?
Oh, Ron Johns.
Oh, surf shop.
Yeah. My neighbor just got back from Florida, and they brought me a mug and a T-shirt.
Yeah, Ron John shirts are popular out of Florida, man. Everywhere you go, you can find Ron Johns.
I love that store. I got a really cool looking mug. I got it in the dishwasher.
Oh. The they've got, I think it's their original. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I was told it was their original store. I believe it's in Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Yeah, this
And
is
that's a big store. It's like a Buc-ee's. I mean, at least I thought it was big at the time. I don't know if you drink coffee out of a thermos there, but I have to be careful sometimes. Mine builds up condensation in the cup lid, and I spill it and drip it all over a book or some kind of, where I'm taking notes or whatever, and then I have a messed up page. People used to know what desk. They always used to know if somebody got handed a document around the office and we were passing it around for edits or just comments. If it had a coffee stain on it, it was probably mine. I'm not sure why they knew that, but one can only guess. Oh, I forgot to move all my junk today. Dang, I did leave everything out.
What do you have there?
That's my empty salsa bucket from yesterday, or container. Mango peach salsa, pretty good. Brenda brought that home to me. That's supposed to be medium heat. Wow, that was pretty mild. I just now saw that. I thought she got me mild accidentally.
You like hot stuff, Tim?
I like it up to a point. I mean, I don't like hot that's so hot I can't taste the food.
Yeah.
But I do like some hot. I like the flavor of jalapeno heat better than habaneros. Not only are habaneros hot, but I don't really like the flavor as much. To me, they have it's just different. Other chilies, green chilies and things that I can chop up and put in food and omelets. It's not terribly hot. I like. I used to be able to eat more hotter.
Yeah.
I used to love Thai food that was hot. And I went through a spell though a couple years ago when I couldn't eat anything hot. Everything I put in my mouth seemed to just light me up, and I couldn't. I hated it because I couldn't eat a lot of things I like to eat, or at least not spice them up the way I like them. Brenda does not like spicy food at all, and so she just grew up eating very kind of bland food. And like I used to say at home when I grew up, I had my own shaker of black pepper. I like fine ground black pepper on pretty much everything. And it's funny. I lived with some friends of mine for a couple of weeks in Nashville when I first moved down there. I was looking for a house, and we sat down for dinner, and I didn't think a thing about it. And I was looking around, and I asked them where the pepper shaker was, and they didn't even have pepper in their house. And after that, though, Winnie, the lady's name, went out and bought a can and brought it home. And every time I came over there, she'd get the pepper can out, so I'd have pepper to eat. They still probably got a half full pepper can in their cabinet. Because I was the only one. Apparently, I was the only one that used it. I agree. Love spicy that enhances the taste. That's me. And I mean, I can eat something that's hotter, but I find that I ask why sometimes because if I can't taste it, I'm not that into the heat just for the heat. But I do like heat. And I used to get these hot potato chips down here that were from a company out of the ones I like the best were out of a company that distributes out of Southern Ohio, so they're kind of hard to get around here. Used to be one little store I used to go to up on the lake that was close enough to Kentucky that they had them. But I loved those things, and I'd start eating those, and the more it burned, seemed like the more I ate. I mean, it was. I guess I was chasing that endorphin high. Just didn't realize it because that's what they say. If you get there's some people that can get to that point, and they can just it just kind of makes you want more. But man, those were good potato chips. Get those again sometime if I can find them. But I did back off a little bit a few years ago because the thing. But for a little while, though, seriously, I couldn't eat anything that was spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Tina says her husband wants her to have Tabasco sauce in my purse all the time. I used to know somebody carried a little bottle in their truck, so they always had some. Mark's dad is kind of that way. He said he got that from in the Marines. They put Tabasco sauce on everything because most of the time it was terrible.
Yeah.
And especially eggs. They, instant eggs or powdered eggs. Tina said same her. She likes to taste the food. It's not just the hot for hot's sake. Some people just like the heat. Period. I just don't like that.
I like a little bit of kick to it, Cocoa Beach.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't doubt that, Doug. There's a lot of sharks off the coast down there these days, especially. But that's a good point because years ago, one of the I guess you'd say the best shark fishing spot in this country used to be down there off the Nassau River, where it went into the Atlantic, which is just 100 miles north of the Cocoa Beach area, probably not even that. And that was I didn't know that. And I was down there one time, and I met these young guys that were fishing for sharks off the beach. And where they were at, they had a largest shark contest every year. And
Really?
But that's what the guy told me. He said most people go down to where the Nassau dumps in above Jacksonville, and because there were a lot of and that's not so far from where Doug's talking about, or who said that? Doug. And so I don't doubt that a bit. And if you look at if you ever do the ocean search for great white sharks, I think it's called O search or something like that. There were a bunch cruising the coastline down that way and up around Charleston a couple weeks ago. And there's always at least 10 or 15 that they're tracking out there. I don't know how that fits into a population of white sharks. I'm sure that's a low percentage, but who likes Cholula? I like that too. Ian, that's my favorite. I like it much better than I do Tabasco. I can eat Tabasco, but Tabasco to me is just vinegar and peppers, which is really what's in it. That's pretty much how they make Tabasco. Cholula has more to me. It has more flavor in it. I started eating Cholula worked with another guy that for a long time he would at lunch, if he was just slightly hungry or if he was still hungry after he ate lunch, he'd take a sleeve of saltine crackers and open them up and just put the hot sauce on the crackers and eat it. And I got into that habit. In fact, I just did that a couple of days ago sitting here, but I need to keep a bottle of Cholula here. Again, like I say, Brenda doesn't eat it, so if I don't have it, it's not here. Oh, search. There it is, Carol. Thank you. Yeah, if you're interested in white sharks and what they do and where they go. Frank's isn't bad either, Carol. I'm kind of like Frank's. I've had Frank's.
I like Frank's. I like Frank's on wings. They had a really good Frank's barbecue sauce one time that I liked. Yeah.
Tina said she grew up with Tabasco. Well, Tabasco's been around, I think, a lot longer than most of those. But I used to think, there was, oh, wow, there's a new chili sauce or a new hot sauce. And, but it still seemed like there weren't that many around if you went to the local grocery store. And then I walked into a store up here in Gatlinburg, actually, and some of where Gatlinburg is. But they had a pepper hot sauce store there, and man, they had hundreds of kinds of hot sauce, and everything from atomic hot sauce that they made you sign a waiver for to, just normal stuff like Tabasco and Cholula.
Mhm.
What did Tina say? Oh, crackers. You eat it on crackers too, Tina?
I don't like it on crackers.
I do. I can't lie. I put it on crackers all the time. Yeah, I think Cholula that I've had that I can get at the store is probably my favorite here. But, I don't know. I guess it's got more. Maybe it's got just a little bit more of a Mexican flavor. So I don't know. Maybe that means it's got more jalapenos or some other ground pepper in it. Tabasco is all literally Tabasco peppers. That's where it gets its name.
Yeah.
And the only place they're grown, as far as I know, still is McIlvaney's, an island there in Louisiana where McIlvaney's, I believe it's McIlvaney's, the family name that makes Tabasco. And I don't think those Tabasco peppers are grown everywhere. And they may have another name too, but I've always heard them called Tabasco peppers. I've seen a little documentary about them on TV. Tina says we have a couple of hot sauces that had oh really? See, I don't go in for those because I know I'm not going to like that in the end. Yeah, Ian, that's kind of what I think too. I just had some Tabasco the other day on something, and I don't mind it. But like you said, I think Cholula has more flavor. I thought that was a joke when I first heard, people having to sign for their hot sauce, but I've seen it, and some of that stuff they had some kind of, it was like capsaicin, just pure capsaicin, the hot stuff in those peppers, and they had like a little jar of it it was pure, and you didn't want to. I mean, you just put a little bit on a toothpick and put it on your tongue, and you were lit up for a while. And you just had to use it very, very sparingly in anything you cooked, and that was like that. And I was thinking, and they charge a lot for it too. And I was thinking, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Ian said, no thanks, Tina, and those hurt bad the next day. yes, they have a habit of doing that. It's a delicate way to put it, but that's probably the most civilized way to put it. Or you can say with mixed company. That's what they used to say. Oh, she's not eating crackers. I've been around a long time. Oh, and my husband likes trying the sauces. Kind of a challenge for him. Not so much anymore. He's smartened up. Tracy Glenn and Kenzie Tate's dad and Matt, her boyfriend, I guess still, they tried to do that Christmas before last, I think, for their Vlogmas stuff.
Hey Dave, welcome in.
And they did. Hey Dave. And most of the ones they were getting to put on wings to try, they were disappointed and they weren't very hot. Diana said we had a story about a guy, man named Jed, who ate ghost pepper and was so sick he caught poison control. They laughed at him.
Oh yeah, this is a funny story. Oh,
ghost peppers are bad. They are bad.
He ate the whole thing.
He just ate the pepper.
He ate the whole pepper, and took 48 hours for him to get better.
Oh wow!
It was incredible. And he had to take the bus home, so he had tried to find washrooms in public.
Oh man!
He walked. Oh, he walked. Yeah, I guess kind of went in them, and he thought by running into a grocery store by getting a big bucket of ice cream that would help him, but whatever went in came out right away. So out the other end in public.
Oh man,
it was terrible. He thought he was dying.
I bet he did. Ian said when he was living with other bachelors, they went out one night without him and did a hot sauce challenge. Biggest issue was we all shared one bathroom.
Oh,
That could be rough, Ian. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
what was that?
Just 48 hours. I'd have thought it would have been permanent. Oh, I hope not. Ghost peppers are pretty wicked. I don't know where they rank on the Scoville scale compared to like the hottest Scotch bonnets, which are habaneros, but they're pretty hot. But I know there are hotter stuff. There is hotter stuff out there.
That is the hottest.
Dave said he sticks to hot chocolate.
That is the hottest pepper out there, though.
The ghost pepper is?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I knew it ranked pretty high, but the I mean jalapenos are good. That's about my level right there.
$800 went on him.
Carol said her son tried some kind of hot pepper. Where's that at here? Let me put that up on the screen. Tried some kind of hot pepper a couple of years ago. I found him in the garden with a gallon of milk, rinsing and spitting repeatedly. Oh my goodness!
Oh boy.
Yeah, they all say milk works better, but sometimes I've not found the relief real quick when I have, wanted to dab it out.
There is no relief.
Yeah, I don't think there is either.
You gotta let it run its course. That's the scary thing.
Tina's talking about a scorpion pepper. I don't know if I've seen that. I do think you're right about where they come from, though, Tina. I don't know about scorpion, but I've always heard that the hottest peppers were out of Southeast Asia and that part of the world. 800 to 1,000,000 Scoville units. Woo! Or 1,000,001, or well, maybe is that 1,000,000 or 100,000 something?
100,000. 100,000. No, that's.
That is 1,000,000 because she said 800,000. And living dangerously, one thing, asking for inferno is another. Yeah, it is. That's true, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, Ian said Carolina Reapers aren't great either. Well, they've started messing with those things just for this sort of, is competition a good word? Or, spicy foods. And they probably have got some stuff they've bred out there now, or cross-pollinated, if you will, that's, getting hotter and hotter. I don't doubt that one bit. And usually salty crackers might help, but mostly time. I have eaten salty stuff with sauces like chips, or, corn chips, or whatever you call them where you're from. I know, what are they? Tortilla chips, I guess they call them. I got some right here. Let me see what they call these. I like these. I don't find them hard to get, but well, it says everything but they're called On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina Cafe Style, and nowhere on here does it say dipping sauce, or they have a picture of it right there. But I like these chips. I like thin chips best myself, and I like them best if they're salty because I love the salt. But and maybe that does affect the hot because
Salt and vinegar. Do you like salt and vinegar chips?
yeah, I do. I don't eat them a lot because they're probably not good for my blood pressure. But I do kind of like them. Brenda, she just looks at me like I'm crazy if I eat something like that. But yeah, I do kind of like them. According to Alexa, ghost pepper is still the most spicy pepper. Well, I don't know that debate. Like I said, I think that's probably varying around the world. Ghost peppers, I do believe that's right. I know they.
Yes, I do smile, Doug.
What Doug say? Does Mike smile? Oh. Well, Doug, we don't know if you smile. We don't see your face. Well, Doug, you'll have to come on sometime and talk about
Doug, I am smiling on the inside.
There you go. I used to get accused of that a lot, and I probably still do. Brenda says I don't smile now, but
Yeah, I get that a lot. I don't know why.
what did Carol say? Is Carolina Reaper the same as the ghost? It may be. Yeah, it may be. That's what I say. They're growing them in different places now, and probably changing names. They may create a new cultivar, is the plant people like to say, or variety, and they may look a little different or whatever. But if they rank up in the same Scoville unit, they started out as a ghost pepper, that would explain that a lot. Oh. Like I say, I don't get a lot of that at home because Brenda doesn't like it, so I don't ask her to cook it. I was making I might have been making hot sauce. For a little while there, I was trying to make some of my own. Not necessarily because I was trying to make something better, just because I was trying to see if I could do it. And maybe I was just making chili. And I had some fresh peppers, and I was sauteing some onions, and I threw some peppers in it. I was going to put all that in the chili. And when something hit the eye of the stove, it gassed off real fast and hit me right in the face. And that lit me up all over. I mean, my whole face burned. And it was like the steam off those peppers, I guess, came out all at once. And the steam had the spice in it. And my face burned, my lips burned, my nose burned. And I hadn't tasted anything yet. My eyes burned, probably the worst. And so Brenda's always tried to make sure I didn't get too out of line. I bet Garrett is in the toilet because of the food. I didn't see last night.
Oh, I got to see what it looked like after.
Do what?
not the toilet, but the meal.
Diana says I look mad or grumpy. People leave me alone. Oh, Diana, I wouldn't say that. That must have been scary. Oh, it was, Carol. It did. It actually, because I wasn't sure what had happened. I've never had that happen before or since, and I wasn't trying to necessarily make something that was super hot. Maybe I got a hold of the wrong pepper, but it really hit me right in the face, and it was startling. What did Doug say? I'm sure it was something funny. People always think I'm mad. No, that's Carol. Oh, when I'm concentrating. I've been told that too, Carol. Some people just don't understand. I have a question about that just in a moment. What did Doug? Doug said something and I missed it. Or maybe I didn't miss it. I don't know.
No, you didn't miss it.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Has anybody ever closed their eyes when they're listening to help them focus on to hear what people are saying better? Or is that just a thing I do? Because I used to do that. I did that in meetings, and of course, everybody accused you of being asleep. But with human voices, tones, I can't hear them as well anymore, and haven't for a number of years. And sometimes when I would be in a meeting or trying to really listen to somebody, I'll close my eyes just so I can just focus on that, trying to not be distracted. Kind of like when you lose a sense, another one gets stronger. And Ian does, and I think people that's right, Ian, they do.
I do it too when I'm trying to concentrate.
I had a boss that just thought I was lying out my wahoo because I would do that in meetings and I wouldn't be asleep. And man, she just used to get so mad at me for doing it. Of course, we didn't get along very well anyway, but I've done that for years just to help me concentrate on voices. there's some tones I still hear pretty well, and there's some that I just get lost. Like if you're talking at a whiteboard in a meeting, and there's any kind of fan noise or air noise blowing through near me, it just wipes out the what they're saying. I can't hear it. That just takes it all away from me, and I can't hear those tones. I probably need to get hearing aids. I know, but I haven't yet. Diana says I close my eyes when I have to read legal stuff. That might be different, Diana. But I get that. Tina says she closes her eyes. Well, that's kind of the same thing, Tina. You close your eyes and just let the music kind of flow through you. Carol says that makes sense. You're removing the input. Yeah, Carol. That's how I see it, and I still do it. And I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not always sleeping. I'll admit sometimes I probably was, but Carol says she has a lot of sensory issues. Sometimes she wears earplugs so I can concentrate on what I'm saying. Well, now see, that's the same thing, only different. What?
That's right. Same
Yeah.
thing.
I had a coworker quit after 3 weeks after I rubbed the bridge of my nose because she thought I was rude. I stared at the screen all day. My eyes hurt, but nobody missed her, so oh well. She quit because you rubbed the bridge of your nose? What? Why did she think that was rude, Doug? You've got me intrigued here. Was she from somewhere where that meant something? That Doug says, I'm afraid of the dark, so I never close my eyes. And my flashlight doesn't work when my eyes are closed either. I've noticed that. She was a piece of work, easily offended. Well, I would say I don't want to judge somebody I don't know, but that seems a pretty trivial thing to quit a job over. I mean, I just don't know why she would think that would be rude. I'm not aware of any nationality that uses rubbing your nose as some sort of a insult, Jesse. Maybe it is. I mean, it's not like you flipped them a bird or something.
Yeah, or threw your shoe at them.
Or threw your shoe at them, yeah. Hey, if you rubbed your nose like this all the time, she might have thought something. Or this. I have seen people do that when they wanted to get a point across. No offense to anybody. That wasn't meant for anybody. It's just she thought I was being impatient with her.
No.
And I was a little.
Some people are just too sensitive.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we all can be sometimes, but it's funny. It's funny how different people look at different things and how it's got a lot to do with how they were raised and what they grew up thinking, I guess. Or if you grow up in the country and everybody around you is doing certain things, you don't think anything about it. And then you go, it just depends. It varies so much. I'm sure we all have our regional idiosyncrasies, but how about that for a big old word on Saturday morning? Idiosyncrasy.
Too big.
Too big. Tina says, sounds like what they currently call a Karen. It took me a little while to figure that out, Tina. When I first heard that, I didn't know what they meant.
Yeah, the Canadian version of Karens are called, I won't say.
Oh, come on, Mike. We're among friends here.
No, we had a run-in with a lady who was behaving like a Karen. Her name's Michelle, but it's not Garrett's Michelle.
Gotcha.
So everyone knows that. So,
but you can't tell me you don't snicker sometimes when you hear it. I wonder where that came from. Is there an actor or actress that's named Karen that used to do that. There's got to be a reason that the Karen thing happened, but I don't know it. I don't know the reason. If it is, it's probably some sitcom or something that I didn't watch.
I'm not sure where it came from. I thought it came back from like YouTube videos or
Might have.
people just
Unless it
acting
came from
irate.
or something. Maybe that's a New York.
Diana says she's going to Google it.
There you go. Thanks, Diana. Ian says he likes to call male Karens Chad. So do you have a Chad that works with you there, Ian? I'm just curious. I've worked with some male Chad. I've worked with some Chads. Carol says, I think, let me put that up. That's a lot to read. I believe that a lot of misunderstandings can be avoided if people just said what they meant. Good point. Ian, that woman could have just asked you instead of making assumptions.
Oh,
Well, that's true too. Tina says yes, Michelle. Well, you mean yes, Michelle? You've heard that too, Tina? Last chat I worked with, I like. It just sounds like the name. Okay. I know I come out with things and Brenda looks at me funny and says, where in the world do you come up with these things? And some of them, honestly, they do just pop out of my head, and then they're usually not necessarily common, but it fits something else I used to know or something. And it just, sometimes I just change them and add different words to them, but it's because of something I grew up hearing or knew when I was younger or something that still sticks in my head. Just that's where I'm from. People say stuff like that. I do feel sorry for all the people named Karen now. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet, Tina. Or Richard. People used to get a lot of people used to catch hell when they were named Richard. Or Dick for short. John. Oh, I bet. I could tell one about somebody else, but I don't think I should say that here.
Probably not.
And I have to admit, it was something that I learned when I was probably 6 years old or something. In fact, I didn't even know what it meant, and I was probably telling it in front of adults, and then I learned later. And then after that, it was just, and my cousins used to love to play that trick on me. But I'm not going to say any more about it. According to Wikipedia, is the expression originating among black people to refer to unreasonable white people. Well, that's possible.
Oh, really?
I wonder does it say how far that goes back, Diana?
See, I don't get that on my. I don't get that on my. I don't see that.
2005.
I heard 5 or something. What'd she say?
2005 it originated from.
2005. That's not that far back. I thought it might go way back. It does sound really wide. It does, doesn't it, Ian? I've known a couple of Karens in my life, and a couple of them weren't all that pleasant. But I've also known a couple that were just, normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I know anybody right now that's named that, unless it's online. I mean, it just doesn't seem to be a common name around here anymore. but it might be in other places, I suppose. Wow, it's already 11:34. We've talked a lot more than I thought.
So
My,
much for a little bit, eh?
yeah, how time flies when you're amongst friends shooting the breeze. I'll probably get back on track next week. I don't know if Mark will be back next week. Mark, if they get down there and get into some game,
We'll get Carol and Doug in the chat.
Yeah, Doug, we need to get you in here.
Carol,
I've been working on Carol, but it's I got a crowbar out, so I'm trying
slowly chipping away at her.
Yeah. Tina, I might get Tina to come on sometime.
Oh, Tina too. Yeah, absolutely, more the merrier.
Maybe we can get. What's the hound? I can't remember the hound's name. Maybe we can get one of the hounds on Danny. Teddy, you gonna make an appearance today, or are you gonna sleep this one off? This new thing of him getting in his chair and standing up like he does sometimes when we're on the air. That's his new way to get if he wants to get something from me, that's how he gets my attention.
He did that a lot on Thursday.
Yeah, he did. He was on 2 or 3 times. He was doing that. He's also started doing something else. And like I said, this is how I think I dozed off on the couch. I think he woke me up. He started, he likes to lay and he'll pull my beard. He'll start running his claws through my beard and kind of like to wake me up. I don't know if that's
Doug's in, Tim. Doug's in.
Yeah, Doug's in what? Or what?
So he would love to come on too.
Oh, okay. Good. We'll have to talk about that. Doug, do you have my I think I've got your Instagram.
I believe probably do.
Oh, right now he's got to go cut some grass. Bless your heart. In Pennsylvania? Oh, that sounds awful. I got to check mine, see if it's my
I'd rather go cut some grass than shovel some snow, I tell you.
Well,
I'm tired of it.
There's gotta be a happy medium in there somewhere. I don't like to do either.
I'm tired of shoveling snow. I don't think I ever want to see a shovel again in my lifetime.
Do you have a snow blower?
No, I don't.
I know a guy's got one. He might sell you cheap. And again, he might not. His mother bought it for him, and she's passed away now. But my buddy Philip, he lives not too far from here. The first year that his mom moved in with him here, and he was taking care of her. It snowed some, and it snowed enough, like a foot or something. And he had to, which is a big snow for us anymore. And he had to shovel out his driveway. They probably wouldn't have put.
Yeah.
And his mom thought she was afraid he was going to, have a heart attack or something just because. And so she went out and bought him she didn't go out. She had him take her out, and she bought him a snowblower. Somebody here had one, which is odd to me. And so now it sits in his garage, and he starts it up every fall just in case, but he's never used it.
Yeah, as long as the gas is.
They what?
As long as like my parents have a snowblower because they got a really long driveway, about 100 feet long and 14 feet wide. So that's what we used to use it over there for them. But now they're just hiring somebody to come clear the driveway. So, but our plan here, if we were ever gonna move, usually the seller of a house usually has something to clear the driveway with if it's a pretty remote property. So we would just include that in the sale of the house. So that's why I never got around to picking one up for ourselves. So
Gotcha. Well, speaking of that, and this might be a big old squirrel. Wait a minute, Carol's got something to say. Anyone else trying to picture how tall Doug's grass is? Like, is that a chihuahua? Yeah, I was wondering that too, Carol. I mean, I can't imagine grass being that high. especially in Colorado, especially this time of year. What are you growing out there that your dog, or is it that the dog's tail's not up above the grass, so you don't know where it's at, or just how tall is that grass? How tall is the dog?
I
I
don't
don't know
think the dog's
if you
very
watched
tall.
this or not, but ABC did the special about Jeremy Renner, the guy that plays, or what's he play? What's his name? Hawkeye in the Marvel films, and his accident he had on New Year's Day this year, where he
Yeah.
got run over by his own snowcat.
Yep.
He was bulldozing the road. They had a special on about that the other day. My God, I'm not sure how he survived that.
He's lucky because the snow wasn't compacted, and it was the weight of that. Probably.
Yeah, but it was on the asphalt. He wasn't on snow. That's the thing. They said that's what most people thought, and then but truth is he was actually on a road and he had run over it with the scraper, so it was pretty much just him and the asphalt. And
Oh, it was.
a bit of ice.
Wow.
So it is a wonder it didn't kill him. I mean, it really is.
But that had tracks on it, though,
right?
right? It wasn't tires. If it was tires, then he would have been dead. I think because the tracks have some give in it.
Yeah, I think that's what he thinks too. Because his tracks on that, and you probably know this better than any of us, but they're wide.
Mm-hmm.
Wheels on them are kind of inboard on the tracks.
Yeah.
And he thinks he was under enough of the outer part of the track that it, even though it crushed him and broke a lot of bones, it wasn't. He thinks if his body had been more under the
wheel, he would have been done.
He would have been dead because it would have been that much harder crushing. But he broke 30-something bones in his body. It even popped his left eyeball out.
It's crazy.
He had a big gash on the back of his head, and the guy that was calling 911 wasn't sure if he saw brain or if he saw skull or brains through that. And he was really messed up. I mean, he about popped like a melon. He had to, and I guess he's in good shape for some of the movies he's done. And they said
those are all stunt doubles, anyways. Those are all stunt doubles, anyways. I would.
Well, yeah, but he does some of them, but he was still in pretty good shape. They said.
Oh, absolutely.
And what's cool about it, and I have to say, it made me feel kind of bad, but it's how well he started walking a little bit now.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, John. Man, I was thinking about you earlier. I bet we could get John to come on sometime, too. I've seen his face on here before.
Carol. Good old time.
Ian says he hopes you've had a clammy day, John. Did you do any good? Was the clamming good today? You ever get out in that area, John, where you can rake up like oysters? I'm going to say wild oysters because a lot of them now are kind of sort of cultivated, if you want to call it that, where they have them, planted, they grow them on, or they let them grow on, big things they can lift up out of the water, that kind of stuff. Stopped at about 90, more than, wow, that's a lot of, or at least the little guys, what are they called? Not hard rock. Well, I can't remember what you call them. To me, that sounds like a lot unless they're not real big. And then that sounds like just enough. Mark and I were having a discussion about oysters and clams the other day. They were, he and his wife went to the Outer Banks for their honeymoon and got paddled around in a kayak and got out and fished and pulled some small nets through the water. And he was talking about all the fresh seafood he was eating while he was over there. That's when he said he's pretty sure he ate a hermit crab too. He just threw it in the pot with everything else he had. Yes, oysters, different license and not worth it. Lots of work. Okay.
Hmm.
Is that because they're hard to get up, John? Because they're attached to the. I think they're usually attached to something. That's how. I mean, once they start growing, I think they kind of lock it down. Not like other ones that burrow into the sand, which is really cool if you've ever seen them have to do that. I've seen the tide go out, and some of those little clams that you think are critters that don't move, and they'll just shoot them right down into the sand. Is that the big ones, Ian? I don't. John, do you guys have a gooey duck type clam on the East Coast that you get off the East Coast? Because I'm not sure. Probably is something, but I know that's a big thing on the West Coast. I think that's what I've heard, unless I'm getting them mixed up with something else. So, just for reference, were these clams about the size of Doug's Shih Tzu? If so, don't put them in Doug's yard until he's done mowing. Yeah, because you'll lose them, John.
You got some hot sauce,
You
some
won't be able
clams.
to find them. Most areas are private leased areas by the state for commercial. Oh, okay, I got you.
No, okay.
I didn't think
That's
about
funny.
that. I didn't realize they had that
That's
much
so funny.
of the bottom licensed up. I don't know. I guess that makes sense, sort of. It's kind of like out west going hunting. All the private lands are where all the deer and stuff are, because they've all but got them fenced in, and you can't hunt them. They let people hunt, but they charge big money. Most areas are privately. Oh, that's what I just read. Commercial rakers. Okay. Do they do that mechanically, John? By using a boat or something, or do they do it by hand still? Yeah, I don't think Doug's answered that question either, Carol. So we're still not sure about that grass. He did say a Shih Tzu, but I think that's what one of my daughter's dogs is, and that'd be
Yeah,
about.
I think it is something along that line.
Yeah.
He's a cute little guy.
Anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 for eating, 4 to 5 for clam chowder. 5 and above are surf clams for fishing, so fish bait. They're probably too tough once they get up that size, John. For that, that's why I've always wondered about the gooey duck type thing. There, somebody told me they are kind of tough, so they get chopped up into other things, I think.
John, is that the minimum size that you could pick a clam? The 1.5?
I bet it
Can't
is.
have anything smaller than that, I don't think.
They usually have I think they, John, correct me. Don't you have to use a certain size rake?
Mm.
And anything that goes through the rake is too small? Something like that. I may be wrong, but other than that, I think they have to measure them or have some kind of a mechanical device that they can check them with.
Or I think they got to hand bomb them too, right? They got to, with a jig, put the clam in it. If it's loose or if it doesn't fit, then you can take it, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Cutting grass stinks, but still better than shoveling snow. Yeah, I would have to agree with you there, but I don't like to mow it either.
Yeah, I want to get a Ryan lawnmower, but Diana won't get me one. Won't let me get one. So,
Friend of mine told me once he moved to Florida. Well, I've talked about him before, but he lived in Florida. And he said he lived right on the beach, and this was back when Florida still had some rural and remote areas of beach. And he said he loved it because it was the first yard he'd ever had where it was illegal to mow the yard because it was all surf. It was all dune grass and stuff, and you can't cut that in Florida because they want it growing there to help hold the dunes in. So
Sea
most places
turtles.
do what?
Sea turtles, possibly.
Well, that too, but he didn't have to mow it because it was,
Yeah.
When we were in Charleston, I saw several signs along different places that said don't cut the grass or don't be chopping the grass up in that area because they were trying to maintain it.
We have lots of grass to cut down. I've got the neighbors I could go do, the boulevards.
There
all
you
the
go.
stuff.
If he had the right mower.
Yeah. Get some speakers put on it, listen to some tunes.
John says, no, Tim, we have a metal device with a hole in it. That's what you were talking about. That's what I was wondering if it was a separate thing. If it goes through it, you put it back. If it doesn't fit, you can't cook it. How about that? If it doesn't fit, you can cook it.
Yeah. So you can watch, hey, Doug?
I ordered I ordered my two daughters to start cutting so I can still. Well, there you go, Doug. Good job. Delegate.
Let me know how that works out. Give me some tips, Doug. I want to get my son to start cutting the grass this year.
That was I mean, that's what we have them for, isn't it? That's Carol to say that. That's why we had 6 kids. There you go. That's the same reason my grandparents, both sides, had 7 or 8. I can't remember the totals right now.
Carol, did any of them cut the grass or shovel the driveway?
That's true. They got both. So
Mm-hmm.
if I was a kid in that case, I'd probably want to snow. Well, again, that's iffy. I don't know how
When
much.
I was young,
Shoveling they'd have to do. If they've got to clear sidewalks in the driveway, they might not. But if it's just a driveway, I would have shoveled most driveways before I do yard because that wouldn't have taken me nearly so long.
yeah. Well, when I was young, we would take the snow from the driveway, pile it up on the front yard, and build a snow fort out of it, right? So,
Well, there you go. Makes sense.
that was
Kids and shores. Yeah, which one's worse, Ian? That's just great foreman. I bet.
Do you wear a white construction hat too, there, Doug?
and a neon vest. And it says boss right there on the top, just in case anybody not sure about that. Well, I think my wife's going to have slept through the whole show today, which it's probably okay. She says the pain's about gone. She's kind of healed up, but she still can't eat. She won't be able to eat anything hard or solid still for a few more days. So she's kind of stuck on soup and
Yay.
mushed up lima beans. I'm not a lima bean fan, so I like them. I can eat them in a stew, or not a stew, but a soup or something. But I don't care for them otherwise. They used to give them to us all the time when we were kids. There was always this story in grade school that at some point in time the government had this great deal. There was a big surplus of lima beans, so every school kid out there got to eat lima beans every year when they were getting, federal money or federal food, buying from the federal stock store, and we ate a lot of lima beans. I just never could. I just never could. They just weren't the same as good old. Oh crap! What's the beans you eat down here? All the pintos. Pinto beans. Do you not eat pinto beans up your way? You guys eat beans for breakfast?
No.
That's the thing that they do in England and the UK. They have beans for breakfast. They're on a lot of menus. I've looked at menus and we watched them. We watch some British TV at night. Sometimes Brenda and I do, and because she's always like the whodunits and the forensic type shows that they ran or do run. And a lot of times they'll be having breakfast and they'll have beans on the table. And she said, "Why are they eating beans?" And I said, "Well, I checked into that, and that's a thing they do over there. Beans for breakfast." I'd never heard of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I've never had a bean for breakfast, but it wasn't because that was what we were eating. What did I do? It was because that was all I had, or I didn't feel like cooking anything else. I do like, eggs what is that? Eggs ranchero or huevo ranchero or eggs and chili kind of thing. Now that I could eat, even with beans. I think it would be better without beans, which is another question. Beans in your chili or no beans?
Oh, beans in the chili, absolutely.
Only one of them mows and shovels without being forced as in take away their devices until they do it. And with 6, that could be a chore in itself.
Well, they get it done faster if they all chip in. 6 of them.
I like black-eyed peas with eggs when it was in Biloxi, Mississippi for breakfast. Well, I didn't know that, John. I don't think I've ever had black-eyed peas and eggs. I kind of like black-eyed peas. A lot of people don't like them around here, even though a lot of people around here eat them on New Year's because it's supposed to bring good luck. Huevos ranchero, Ian. Thank you. And that like chili and eggs? I think it is. But yeah, say now some people don't put beans in their chili.
Yeah.
It's just meat.
Over easy egg on top of a chili is really good too.
Oh, I bet it is. See, I like an over easy egg mixed with like hash browns or home fries or whatever you call them, chunked
a
up.
Skillet, kind of like a skillet.
Yeah, I can do that. I like that too. Sometimes
we all like it.
Hell, I like everything. If it's got basically if it's got potatoes in it. We'll dice up potatoes sometime and kind of fry them up a little bit or crisp them up. And then put those in we'll start some eggs, scramble a big bunch of eggs and mix them in with the potatoes. I can eat, that's a meal for me. I can eat that all day long.
That sounds good.
Howard Johnson's always had Boston baked beans on their breakfast menu. I think it came with a salad of brown bread or a slab of brown bread. Well, I guess I've never eaten at a Hojo's for breakfast. At least I don't remember.
Carol, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I'm a little bit too. I hadn't had anything to eat this morning yet. I didn't go out for donuts or anything this morning. And that still is a little scary. I could definitely fall off the roof. I missed something in. Say we went up on the garage. The roof wasn't that steep, so it wasn't terrible. I'm not sure exactly. Did you have a roof rake, or did you have to get up and? Oh, I see what you're saying. To get it off your roof. Yeah, I saw people with some kind of a rig on TV watching the news the other night. They'd slide it along the roof and cut the snow. And then I guess on top it had kind of a blade or something to pull, and they'd pull these big slabs of snow off the roof. Green chili and eggs, usually with a hash brown or ranch potato. See, now I'd like that a lot, Ian. That sounds really good. Carol says, I'm getting hungry now. Well, that's what we do here. We spread hunger and a desire for coffee. That's the whole trick.
And donuts.
I may still have to go out and get a donut. I bet Brenda would like a donut since she can't eat hard food. A donut's a soft food. So maybe this would be a good day to see if she wants a donut. I might just have to do that. Well, we did get some Krispy Kremes while we were in
nice
Charleston, just because, we were on vacation. And they were hot and fresh, and man, were they tasty.
Krispy Kreme has a lot of different flavored donuts, though, right?
Sometimes it depends. Yeah, they have more than our local. The other place, Dunkin'. Our Dunkin' doesn't have nearly the selection they used to have.
No,
and I don't know. They don't do they don't do donuts like they used to. I think they're all well. For one thing, I think the stores around here get them from one central store, and
Yeah.
so when they run out, they're just out. They're not back. Now Krispy Kreme's making donuts 24/7. I mean, if they run out, they just make some more.
Mm.
And their store, at least their bigger stores, most of the stores, but Dunkin' doesn't do that here. At least most of the one nearby doesn't, because I go in there. I've gone in there before, and I'll ask for something. Well, we don't have those today, or we don't have those here, or we ran out of those. And well, what do you got? Well, we got these onion donuts that nobody likes. That kind of stuff. It's kind of weird.
Mm.
Well, to me, it seems weird. I mean, it's a donut shop. They should have donuts all the time.
That's right. They should.
People that move here from the east are surprised how much green chili we cook with. Well, yeah, I like green chilies too, Doug. Or Ian. Doug says they're doing a fantastic job. Well, that's good. Whatever he's got them doing right now. And you're in here talking with us. That's the even better job.
Doug, you're doing a good job supervising. That's why they're doing a good job.
You having to do that with, like guard dogs on them or anything like that? 'Cause if you're not, then that's excellent.
Got a muzzle on your shit shoe?
Or his Basset Hound pup? Doesn't he have he's the one with the Basset Hound pup, right? Or is that Tony?
That's Tony.
That's Tony. That's right. That's Tony. I got to stand up. I'm going to turn my camera off just for a minute. I'm going to talk, though.
No worries.
I learned on here recently that there's a difference between bassets. There's like an American basset and
That's right.
different basset.
American basset and a European basset.
Yeah, here I was thinking they were all the same unless they were a mutt. So are they a different size, or what really makes a difference?
Yeah, they're a different size. European is a little bit more wrinkly and chubbier. And the American basset is a little bit more, still a little bit wrinkly, but not as much.
Well done, Doug. Make sure you take a little rest. People that move here, I read that one already.
Yeah. So
He's getting a lot of congratulations on some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, guys. Good parenting.
Well, our son's at cadets right now doing uniform training. So,
What does that mean exactly?
I guess how to get. They're wearing their blue uniforms, like suit and tie kind of
Dress uniform.
Yeah, I guess how to get prepped up and wear the clothes properly and tuck in the cuffs and all that kind of stuff.
Scared. So, I'm all in the camera here. There I go.
A little bit of drill training and stuff. So.
They got something coming up, or is this just a normal thing?
No, yeah, they got something coming up. So I forget the date. I believe they're doing a march through the city. So
okay.
The rest of the cadets throughout. So, but anyways,
you probably need to get going. And I meant to offer you an out a few minutes ago, and I'm not going to be much longer because I'm hurting a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of suggesting that. So
sometimes I can only sit for so long. Working on that.
What happens when you have a good time, right?
Oh, that's exactly right. Because you don't notice it until you're really hurting.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to get Doug. We'll have to get Doug on.
Yeah, Doug, I'll have to talk to you about that. Maybe in another week here or so, if you're not busy. I'd love to get you on sometime. Ian said there's been times in his life when he knew how to tie a tie better. I don't even know how to tie a tie anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Last time I tried to tie a tie, it didn't work. So I could learn on the internet. I'm sure I saw somebody recently showed a real neat way to, real simple way to do a tie. And I was sitting there watching it and I thought, why did I never know this? Mine just kind of looked like a slip knot with a, it just doesn't look right. It's not the proper knot. Sorry, I've been absent. A friend just came by with a whole pan of lasagna.
What?
So she's
Good,
having
what a
lasagna.
good friend.
Or
Or
maybe
you.
the Shih Tzu should be on the camera and Doug can do a Garrett, or he can do a Garrett, or in this case, a Diana. Tina says my dad used to wear a string tie. Yeah, well, I knew. Well, if you go out west, you see those a lot more. And I knew people back here that wore them one time, and I never was sure about that. If
You
that
don't
was a
see him.
stereotype, but apparently it is.
Yeah, you don't see him too much around here.
Bolo ties are really popular out west. I see them a lot more on people that wear a cowboy hat than I do regular ties, although they do wear some of those too. I don't know if it's normal where everybody's from, but I know when you had something like a passing in families or somebody who was ill or not, what people used to bring food to the house all the time. That was a big thing down here where I grew up. At least some of as neighborhoods get bigger, it's probably not as common, but that was everybody did that kind of thing when I was growing up in the community, which was really nice because sometimes that was a big deal, especially back in the days when dads didn't cook and moms cooked everything, and if mom was gone, guess what you were eating? Pinto or pork and beans out of a can.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you need to go.
I sure do.
Go pick up your yonker.
Go pick up my mini me.
You. Yeah, and you guys be safe out there on the roads and and thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for inviting us. Well, me, anyways.
Yeah, you and Garrett.
Yeah, I got to get on. I got to get on.
She's not going to live that one down for a while because I'm not going to forget that. I'm going to remember that for a long time. Ian said my wife was in the ICU for a couple of weeks when the kids were young. My refrigerator was full of casseroles thanks to the school and church. Well, good deal, Ian. That's kind of how it is here, or it was. I don't know. I don't know anybody in Knoxville, so I doubt it happened to us. But nobody
We
really
never know.
what's going on. But Carol said, "Thanks, Mike and Diana. Who looks like Garrett today?" Thank you, Carol, for coming up with that. I think she did. Whoever came up with that, I appreciate that. That's a good one. I'll have to go back. I think it was Carol, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Carol.
All right, Mike. You guys take off, and I'll sign off here in a minute. But thanks for coming in. Thanks, Diana.
Bye, everyone. Where's my camera?
You have a good day. And
we'll see you soon, Doug. Don't forget
you
your snowshoes.
There you go. All right. See you, Mike. I'll take you out. I have released him. Yep, Carol won all the points. She won the show today. We need to come up with some sort of a trophy, and all the rest of you ain't getting a participation trophy today. You're just SOL. Carol gets it all. Around here, people tend to give gift cards to restaurants or DoorDash. when someone is in need. Well, that's not so bad either. That way you can get, order what you like, I guess. I mean, I'll have to admit, sometimes we got things that, weren't as popular around our house. You just never knew. Whew. All right, guys. I really changed something on the camera. I can see. I see more things. I've been looking at maybe I shouldn't even tell that. I have a shotgun sitting here. I've been looking at a shotgun that I may buy from a friend, and he brought it up and let me look at it, and it's sitting here against the bookshelf, and I was trying to make sure it didn't show, but it doesn't. It's right here beside me, yet I can see that heater back there. Of course, I know how a lens works, but I'm really surprised that's not showing. And I guess if everything like that pops up on my show and somebody doesn't want to see it, let me know and I'll get rid of it. I usually try not to show them. Some people have said don't ever show something like that because YouTube will cut you off. But yeah, everybody have a happy Easter. If whatever your celebration is or isn't, or hope if you have family time, then good for you. Thanks, Tina. This new camera is really nice compared to the one I had. The new computer helps too, but this camera is much, much better than the one I had before. The one I had before was probably at least 10 years old, so technology has changed a lot since then. I got it when I used to be on the road some, and I thought this would be cool. I can call home and sit and talk, but it didn't always work that way. Okay, how do I get Mike off here? He's still on. I still see Mike in the green room here. I don't know if he's having trouble signing off. Gary called me the other night and said, you're still streaming. After we shut down the show Thursday night, apparently I was still on. Did anybody else notice that? Well, Carol, I don't think my grass is that high. Our grass we have a lot of shade trees, so our grass doesn't usually get too tall, but it might be getting up like this. So I know you could see Brenda, and I think you could probably see Teddy. You want to come up and say hi? Come here. Carol's worried about you. She thinks you're lost in the yard. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're okay. I got you. You're not drowning. You don't have to swim out of the ocean. Tell everybody hi and goodbye, because we're going to shut down here in a minute. Say, I am being a lazy boy today, Carol. Oh, that may be right, Carol. Mark may be lost in no, he wouldn't be lost in Tony's grass. Wrong part of the country. But you're right. I'll need to check my yard for that. Carol said, hi, Super Teddy. Everybody's waving at Teddy, but Teddy's gone now. Yeah, Tina, John snuck in while you were busy. There was a Teddy sighting. There was indeed. He said it's a rumousy gloom. Hot coffee. He said it's a rumousy gloomousy day, and he's just gonna nap. He's such a good cat. I mean he is more. I don't want him to really hear me say this, but he's a little bit like a dog in a way. He's, your best dog wants to lay down at your feet all the time or whatever. And he's always beside me. He's got his own chair beside me. And if I go to the couch, he comes over there. He's got his pillow he lays on. Last night I got in bed and he came and got in bed with me for a while. Some nights he gets in bed and just lays there and he gets right up against me and cuddles up and lays on my arm or something. So he's he didn't used to do that. He's grown up into a good boy, aren't you? If he just let me trim his claws, he'd be a really good dog or cat. Ian says, I've got a cat dog. I love it. Great cat companion. Yeah, he follows me around all over the house. When I go to bed, most of the time he'll be out in the hall playing or something, or he'll come in and lay down. But during the day, he follows me up and down the stairs, and whatever room I'm in, that's usually where he's at, and usually right beside me. Because he's got his own. He even has his own chair at the kitchen table, but I probably shouldn't say that. Doesn't mean he eats. He just gets up there and lays down. He's a good one. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'll survive when I lose him. Or, I'm going to say if, because I may go first, but he's special. All right, guys, I'm going to shut down. I don't know what time it is, but I'm sure it's time. It's past time. Well, I don't really have a time, but thanks everybody for coming in today. I know this was sort of just a yak kind of chat or show. This wasn't very exciting, but I'm glad everybody came in. I do enjoy sometimes when we're just able to sit and talk and, cut up a little bit. Let me see if I've missed anything in particular that I ought to show. Maybe I got most of it. I hope I did. If I missed something that you guys want me to throw up or talk about, even here or on Thursday nights for that matter, just put it in chat and remind me of it. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. You guys know I love y'all and couldn't do this without you. And I really appreciate you coming. I know there's a lot probably better entertainment out there, but I enjoy our conversations. And, I like to think that we all learn a little something every time we're together. So that makes it, even if it's how tall Doug's grass is. And now we know, how often he mows it, which apparently isn't very often. All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut the switch. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great Easter. I don't know an appropriate saying for a goodbye for Easter, but you guys can come up with one. So see y'all later. See y'all real soon. Never hesitate to contact me if you need something, or if I can help you do anything, or if you just want to talk about something. And if anybody ever wants to talk on the phone to have a conversation, I'm up for that too. So just let me know. And I'll see y'all again next week, hopefully. Mark may be back or he may not. I don't know. He'll be back someday, though, I'm sure. If he's not lost in the yard. Bye-bye.